Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. As in continuation with our Expressing Gratitude series, today we have Samiksha here, who is a part of a larger movement. We will be introducing her shortly, and our chairman, Arun Kulkarni, to have this conversation. Samiksha ji, welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, on behalf of Legacy, our 1,200 clients, our co-host for the event, BSC, and they are member companies. Please allow us to express our heartfelt gratitude for the kind of work that you've been doing during the pandemic and even before that. I mean, it is truly inspiring to see the kind of work that you've been doing for people and the community around us. We would love to learn more about that. But once again, thank you so much. Requesting our chairman, Arun, to say a few words, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Thank you, Jaideep, and welcome, Samiksha. Samiksha is part of the illustrious family, Baba Amte and Prakash Amte. If you see her background, she is by education, she is an economist. She was born and brought up in Pune, and she decided to move to a remote place in Maharashtra near Himalkasha, which is far away from Pune, and she gave up the luxurious life of Pune and settled down across in place like Himalkasha. The intention was very clear because I think she belonged to a family which has been known to India, known to world perhaps because of the quality of work which they did for the society. And as you rightly said, this is a small attempt to give tribute and express gratitude for what they are doing to the society at large. Samiksha's work spreads from uh, women empowerment to child education to environment to animal protection, a whole lot of stuff which she does sitting in that place. It's very difficult, for us to say that these things are being happening by through her. I can imagine the kind of difficulty she must have gone through, and she is going through perhaps because of the infrastructure and the other issues. But that family is known for fighting back. They do everything in all. It is said that when Dr. Prakash Amte settled down in Hemalkasha, there was nothing except 7 rivers to cross and reach that place. It was as remote as that. Nobody wanted to believe them what they were doing as doctors, but they convinced the Adivasis, and today it is one of the happening place in the world. And she belongs to that family, and we are indeed privileged to have opportunity to talk to her today. Me and Jaideep are actually going to do more listening job. But before I hand over the mic to her, I may ask few questions to her if she can illustrate through her examples and whatever she has been doing. One, Samiksha, how did you manage to live that life of Pune and come down and settle down into a place which doesn't have internet, which doesn't, perhaps that time no electricity, perhaps bad roads, no luxury cars, no cinema halls and everything. You decided to go there and settle down there and not given up and did that. You traveled down across terrain which perhaps people from Pune, Mumbai, and other places will get tired and get fatigued by traveling to those areas, but you did that. So please tell us what motivated you to do these areas, and what are the projects that you are doing, and what is the success that you have got now, and what is the way forward, what you want to do in future. If you could just take us through, the mic is yours now.
Namaskar, all of you. I'm really thankful to Arun Kaka and everyone on the team for inviting me on this prestigious occasion to talk. I'll be talking about Lok Biradari Prakalpa as a whole and also my personal journey and how, as Arun Kaka said, that I came from the city to this forest area. But let me just give you I don't know, footnote or something, that I do not think that it has been a really hard journey, or, you know, I had to forego something really very precious, or that I have struggled in life. For me, it was a very easy thing. I don't know why, but it was very easy for me to give up Pune and come here. And I also am very thankful that I got this opportunity. I got to meet this remarkable people. I got to know them so well. I had the privilege of seeing amazing places, and of living life. And also, I got a very different perspective of life, um, of truth, of, I don't know, but I'm happy that I got this perspective. So this is on a personal level, and on the organizational level, I would like to take you 50 years back. So this organization started in 1973, and it was started by late Baba Amte. He wanted to start agricultural activities for the tribals in this area, because when he came here, he saw that they were not doing agriculture at all, and they were living a very primitive hunter-gatherer life. And so he thought that to tackle the problems of malnourishment or other social problems, he wanted to teach modern agriculture over here. And when he said that he wanted to do that, my father, who was just 22, 23 years old, thought that if my father, who is 60 years old, wants to go into such a hard terrain, I should join him. So he decided, so he gave him word that I will join you in this project. But then Baba was shrewd enough to see that this young man can do it alone by himself. So he sent him and his wife over here, and because they were medical doctors, so instead of teaching agriculture, the first initiative, the first intervention that was started here was a hospital. And because it was such a unknown thing, that the tribal were extremely suspicious of what these two are doing to the patients, or the way of treating them, because they had seen their local shamams and all those pujaris who, you know, make a fuss and do all of those things to cure the person. So this way of treating them by giving them medicines and syrups was totally unknown to them. So they were really suspicious, and the first 2 years, my parents did not have even a single patient in the hospital. So that was how the project started. But then maybe it was destiny or something, but one day the local shamam's daughter fell into fire, and she had severe burns, and which of course cannot be treated by just jadoo and all of that. So he reluctantly got his daughter to my parents, and then they treated her with proper medication and antibiotics, dressing, and she, of course, she then became well. And so that way, it was a big advertisement that, you know, his own daughter was treated by this other type of doctor. So then the tribals thought that why not give him a try. So slowly patients started coming to the hospital, and because they could see the results so quickly, and instant relief, then there was no looking back. And today we have a 100-bedded hospital and a multi-specialty hospital, a huge lab, dental unit, operation theaters, and it's a very state-of-art hospital. And we serve for more than 45,000 patients annually, and a lot of surgeries, 500, 600 surgeries in a year. So this is the state of medical health today. Then the second thing that my father noticed was that since the tribals were so devoid of exposure, of information, and of course literacy, that it was very easy to exploit them. So they were exploited for very simple and very meager reasons, be it the merchants or government officials, forest officials. It was very easy to exploit them. So they thought that we should stop this exploitation through literacy. And so a school was started in 1976. In the same way, you must have noticed that my father did not have a blueprint of what he was going to do back then. Like he had not decided that in 5 years I'll do this, in 10 years I'll do this, but it was a very symbiotic growth of the organization as in when it was required by the community. So even today we have a very close knit with the community. We participate in their Gram Sabhas and we have a voice over there. So I think that is very important that we listen to the community, what they want from us, instead of just giving them our preconceived notions of development. So the third thing that was started was that my parents, my mother and father, were just going for a walk in the evening, and while returning they saw that there was this hunting party coming back from hunting. So they had a monkey hanging on a bamboo. The tribals were taking the monkey back to their village. So the monkey was dead, and there was a little alive baby clinging to its dead mother. So that was a very moving sight, and my father requested the tribals to give them the baby monkey. That he said that I'll take care of the monkey, and you can take the dead monkey and have feast or whatever your procedures. But they were reluctant at first, and then it was exchanged for some grains of rice. And when my father brought it home, he had a dog, and so he took care of the monkey, and the monkey and the dog became really good friends. So good that the monkey would sit on the dog's back and he would roam the whole campus. And when the patients would come to the hospital, they would be amazed to see this strange friendship between two animals. And at that time, then they saw that this man takes good care of animals also and treats them with love. And so that is how the animal orphanage started. Today we have more than 100 wild animals who are rescued in the same manner. That is that their mother has been killed during hunting. Along with this, we also do a lot of awareness about not going for hunting among the tribals. But after so many years, after 50 years, the hunting for food has been stopped completely. Like they do not go for they do not hunt wild animals for food. But unfortunately, there are few rituals that and customs that they follow that need hunting to be done according to their rituals. So it's a yearly thing, and that unfortunately is still going on. Of course, we are trying for that also, but I think it will take some time. Then since last 6 years, 6 years, we are also doing for village, we are intervening in village development through water reservoirs. So we are building reservoirs or water lakes which are being owned collectively by the community, by the village, and then they do fishing over there. They put the fish seed and they sell the fish. Fifthly, we are working in women empowerment, and we are doing that through forest produce. So basically we started this with Mahua, you must have heard of it. Traditionally, the tribals brew liquor out of it. And since we were working with women, there are a lot of liquor related problems and domestic violence cases and all of those abuse and all of those things that happen with excess consumption of liquor. So we thought of why not use Mahua in a good way. So we started by making laddus out of Mahua and using them as a midday meal in schools and providing income generating opportunities to women. And in the same way, we have been doing forest related sustainable products with the women in the villages. So this is just an overview of what we do. there was again a very strong request from the villagers around that there's a place called Nelgunda, which is 30 kilometers away from our base camp. And unfortunately, after so many years, there are no roads to reach that village. The village is cut off because of the rains for at least 3 months of the year. So for 3 months, taking a bike over there is also very difficult. And going by a four-wheeler is possible only for 6 months of the year. So it does not have electricity and mobile range, and all those facilities are just not available over there. So that was something very interesting, that the villagers wanted a school to provide quality education near to their home. And that is what I found very, intrigued me to get into that project. And so we started a school over there in 2015. Its name is Sadhana Vidyalaya, and I've talked about it in that video. So I think I have answered the questions.
Thank you so much. And we will play a clipping of that video after this. So please stay tuned for that. But Samiksha, please tell me, while you spoke about your personal experiences, you also spoke about this. Could you share a little bit about how the pandemic impacted the community, the work? How did you deal with that? And were you on the front line? Obviously, you were on the front line, but how did you deal with the whole thing?
So, as everyone knows, that the most vulnerable people and the poor people are the worst hit by the pandemic. So is the case over here. So there are many migratory people who work in cities. All of them had to come back, and we did not have any case in our district in June, and our area was a green zone right up till July or something. So there was this fear that there's some disease, and of course they did not comprehend it completely what it is, and also there was no disease. So that was a very strange situation over here, and they were hearing stories of people getting infected in the cities, but it was too far. And now the thing is that it has started to spread over here, and people are not that now they think that it's nothing, like, so they are not very careful about it. What we did as an organization is that the first thing that we did is we made so I just forgot to tell you actually about the tribals. I'll just do that first. So the tribals that inhabit this place are the Madia Gonds. They are a subtribe of the Gonds, and they are found mostly in central India. So there are a few Gonds in Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh. And in Maharashtra, there are only two talukas where Madia Gonds are found. One is Bhamragad, which we are based out in, and the other is Etapalli, which is just next to us. And these tribals have their own language. They do not speak Hindi, Marathi, but their language is of the Dravidian descent. So maybe it's more similar to Telugu, but I don't know Telugu, so I don't know. But I know the tribal language, and it does not have a script, and they are predominantly monolingual. Like only the men might be knowing little bit of Hindi and Marathi, but little children and women still speak their own local language. They have their own customs, their own traditions. They are not Hindu as such. They bury their dead, and they celebrate many different kinds of festivals. It's all based on agriculture and jungle. So that is about the tribal people here. So what we did first after the coronavirus pandemic hit India is that we made small clippings in their own language, Madia language, and we broadcast it from village to village. In each and every village we went, and we gave them complete information. So just an awareness drive sort of to make them understand what this pandemic is about. Then the second thing in education front, what we did was we did not stop their education from day one. So in the first lockdown, which was for 21 days, we thought, I mean, like everyone, we thought that, after 21 days, everything will be all right and schools will start. So in the first lockdown, we didn't reach out to the children. But after the second, when things started really getting out of place everywhere, and we decided that we had to intervene. So because we could not get children to us, our teachers went from village to village, and we held these village level centers, and we were working it in, it's still going on today, in 32 villages. So we could reach up to 900 children or something. That is what we did.
That's really
Very
great.
nice, very heartwarming. Thank you so much for sharing that.
But coming back again to the same question of pandemic, are the people panicked? Is it spread? Because if you look at cities, people don't follow the norms and they get affected. What
Yes.
happens in those people who don't even know what's the pandemic? Maybe they must be thinking, "Koi Devi ki krupa, how krupa ho gayi," and all that stuff. So how do they handle?
That initially did happen. We saw a lot of pujas after that happening in villages around us. That is in March when it happened. But now I think that they have made sense out of what is actually happening. But using masks and not spitting is something that I think we few generations to develop all of that. So that is not happening.
Samiksha, just quickly before because the time constraint, we can continue talking as Jaideep said, but uh, you did something on the plantation of trees and plantation, the water reservoir, because I remember Aniket had sent one mailer to me wherein it was shown that the water levels had gone up in the certain areas,
Yes.
and all the fields which are there now are full of water, and therefore the crops have come up well, etc., etc. If you could just quickly tell about that.
Yes, there are quite a few villages and people who are taking agriculture really seriously because of these water reservoirs. Now that they have water, because we do not have irrigation over here, and because of the reservoirs, now they have water, and they have also started taking a second crop, which was not the case over here. So people would just take one crop, that was paddy. When it rains, that is all they could do. And now a few villages have started taking the second crop because of water available to them.
Great. And just one last question on a lighter vein. You have the orphanage of animals, wild animals. Are
Yes.
you scared of tiger and panthers and the snakes, etc.? I believe your kids play with that.
Yeah. So I am born and brought up in a city. So the only animals I had seen was a crow and a dog.
Yeah.
So when I got married and I came here, I was a bit scared. But then after living with them for so many years, I'm not scared anymore of them. But I prefer to maintain some distance.
Because we were told your kids play with the tigers and
They
scorpions and whole lot of stuff.
Because my father introduced animals to them when they were so young that they did not have that element of fear in them. So
That's amazing.
daughter, she could not even sit. She was so small, and my father would introduce snakes to her and all of those things. So she absolutely does not have any fear in her. And, she plays with all type of animals, and my son is also very passionate about animals. He not only plays with them but also takes care of them. So if some animal is so that we had one snake who would eat only garden lizards. So he would spend he would after he would come from school, he wouldn't eat anything, and he would spend hours catching garden lizard for that snake, and catching frogs and for the animals to eat them. And so
Amazing. That's very interesting. It needs a different type of gene to do these kind of a thing. And you people are really doing great job. And there's, this 1 hour talk or 30 minutes talk is too short a time. but we would love to have some time again and discuss more about it, and in what way we can also work with you on some of the projects. It will be great honor for us to be with you, and wish you all the best. And I thought we express our gratitude, as Jaideep said in the beginning, and you allow us to show your the clip to people who are watching this event. Jaideep, want to say something?
No, thank you, Arun sir, Samiksha. Thank you so much. While this was a very brief conversation, it was very insightful. We hope to catch you at a future date for a fairly long conversation. I'm sure the audience will have a lot of questions for you after listening to this. So we'll organize one more session, and hopefully with a lot of audience interaction as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much again, and look forward to see you.